Another day, another Talksport dig at Scottish football. Welcome back to Fog Football. And Celtic are at the brunt of this one from Jamie O'Hara. And I know, people will be like, oh, don't listen to Talksport. I'm not really listening to Talksport, right? But I kind of, because Ange, he was a high profile move from Celtic to Tottenham. I do want to talk about this. We've actually defended Ange quite a lot this season, right? Um, and he's splitting a lot of opinions, even amongst like Celtic fans, right? Some Celtic fans have begun to think that he's a bit of an arsehole. Their words, not mine. And you know what? We defended him, right? Injury crisis and all that. But I believe that was what Spurs' 16th loss of the league. I mean that's unacceptable. Like I don't care what you say. How can you lose 16 games in a season as Spurs manager? Now, if you were if you had 22 wins to match it, then 66 points, you'd be in Europe help, maybe top four. He has come out and said, Ange, that he's the only voice defending Spurs. I mean, who knows? But what I would say is, I think he's gone. Well, I say think he's gone. I would sack him personally if they didn't win the Europa League. But saying that, look what's next. Look what's next, right? It's Frankfurt. And I know all too well about Frankfurt, but just to put it in perspective for Tottenham, they're on 34 points, right? Now they're 14 points clear at Ipswich. They're not going to get relegated, right? Let's just get that out there. They're not going to get relegated, but they are joint with two other teams on 34 points. Everton, who I think will finish above Tottenham. You've got West Ham, who might. I don't think Wolves will. You've got Man United on 37, who are just rank rotten. Uh, Honestly, the Premier League this season's mental, but for Tottenham, I mean, you've got Palace on 46 points down the road, but they've got a game to play. The game in hand is against Newcastle, so I mean, I wouldn't really expect them to win that. But I mean, how high can Tottenham realistically finish? Honestly, I don't even know. I'd say the highest Tottenham can finish is about, I'd say 13th. I think Man United. I just don't see them finishing any higher than that. And is that good enough for Spurs? It really, really ain't. You know what I mean? No, what's actually crazy is that Spurs have got a fucking goal difference of 11. Like, work that out. Every team around them's got minus. But, yeah, I just think because Ange has kind of failed at Tottenham, is it really, does it make him a bad manager? No. Does it help his reputation? Of course it doesn't. But the reality is, everyone's failed at Spurs. Conte, Mourinho, I could go on and name about 100 more. It's just a club that no one really wins anything with. It's almost poisonous Spurs, to be honest. Jason Cundy said he loves the way that Postecoglou deals with the media in interviews. But Jamie O'Hara, he tagged himself in here and he said, and I quote, "What do you mean? He deals with the media terribly. He gives the media nothing. He comes in, he had 10 good games, and all of a sudden he's laughing with Gary Neville, Carragher, and everyone thought he was like the Messiah. Like, do me a favour, his interviews are terrible. He argues with Talksport, with Sam Matterface. It gives you nothing. It's a myth. It's a myth. Any other manager at Tottenham Hotspur would have gotten the sack. He would have been gone. He's lost 16 games. You've got this Scotland manager who's done the business up in Scotland with the biggest budget and the best players and play a style of football which is easy when he's playing against St Mirren and Kilmarnock. He had 10 good games at the start then when he rocked up because we were in a hole, and all of a sudden everyone loves him still. What are you talking about? Every team around us has sacked their manager. Every single team has sacked their manager around us. Every one of them. And we're still there. We Ange, I reckon I could take over and do a better job. Genuinely. Seriously. Right. Yo, Celtic do have the biggest budget, right? And yeah, it's easier to set up against St Mirren and Kilmarnock. Right? Yeah, it is. But that is taking away from what Ange actually did. It feels like fucking donkeys ago when Ange Postecoglou walked in the summer of 2021. But the reality is, Rangers were ahead of Celtic. We were. We won the league. Celtic had sold a lot of players. They just had an absolute collapse the season before. And Ange turned it around with some great signings and a great style of play, and he made it work. He made Celtic compete in Europe performance wise. Results were pretty bad. I mean, we've heard a million jokes about the Real Madrid game. We won the first half. We scored. McGregor hit the post. You know, all the jokes, right? But Ange took Celtic from, I don't want to call it rock bottom, but you know, Celtic were in a bad place after title 55 for Rangers. I mean, 25 points behind, considering they'd just won 9 in a row and there was trebles galore. I mean, I think that's as close as Celtic have been to rock bottom in the 21st century. Well, I mean, well, maybe not 21st century. I mean, I guess back, you know, the Tony Mowbray days and all that. But you know what I mean? Like the summer of 2021, the job that Ange did can't be taken lightly at the end of the day for me. I think we're, but then that this is Jamie O'Hara. Doesn't give two fucks about the Scottish game. Probably just thinks Celtic have won every trophy since like 1888. Um, Reality is it's not that, but yeah, Ange did a great job at Celtic. And I'm seeing a lot of people that are saying they'll happily take him back if Rodgers leaves. And it would be funny if Rodgers left to go to Tottenham and Ange came in back in at Celtic. I mean, I wouldn't find it funny because I do rate Ange, and honestly, as crazy as it's, I would rather Rodgers than Ange. I would, and I'm not just saying that because Rodgers is the current Celtic manager. Ange scud at Rangers teams. He put us to the sword. He did. And you know, Rodgers has scud at Rangers teams before. Absolutely, but Rangers have beat Celtic the last few games. It was, I mean, Ange's teams were battering us. Yeah, there was the occasion. We won 1-0 Hollander. That was Ange's first Old Firm. We won the semi-final in the Cup and we won a game at the end of the season that didn't matter. But for the most part, man, Ange's Celtic fucking rocked up every time and battered us. Even in the games Celtic beat us under Rodgers recently, they've all been close apart from the 3-0 at Parkhead. So, yeah, honestly, Ange, I think he'll get the end of the season, but for me, I would totally understand if Tottenham get rid of him once the season's out, if he doesn't win the Europa League, because it ain't good enough, man. You know, finishing down 16th, 15th for Tottenham, it's crazy, man. It's shocker, you know, and yeah, there's been injuries and there's been this and that, but it's no good enough. You know what I mean? It really, really ain't. It really, really ain't. But here, you never know. Maybe they'll beat Frankfurt. Maybe they'll move on and beat Lazio or whatever in the semis. And here, maybe it'll be Rangers against Tottenham in the final of the Europa League. Who really knows? But all I do know is it's going to be crazy and it's going to be an unpredictable ride in the Europa League. Hopefully. Hopefully it's predictable for Rangers and me win it. Haha. But anyway, what do you think of these comments for Jamie O'Hara? I'm pretty sure Merson came out and said the exact same shit about 2 months ago, but maybe I'm wrong.